Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjanaya Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjanaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjanaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Shri Radha Madhava ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, welcome to everyone, also who is watching us by internet. So we are in Bhagavad-gītā, 6th chapter, text number 16, yes. Nāty-aśnatas tu yogosti. Nāty-aśnatas tu yogosti. Caikāntam anaśnataḥ. Caikāntam anaśnataḥ. cāti-svapna-śīlasya. cāti-svapna-śīlasya. jāgrato naiva cārjuna. jāgrato naiva cārjuna. nāty-aśnatas tu yogosti. caikāntam anaśnataḥ, cāti-svapna-śīlasya, jāgrato naiva cārjuna.
nāty-aśnatas to yogaḥ ekāntam cāti-svapna-śīlasya, jāgrato naiva cārjuna.
nāty-aśnatas to yogaḥ
nāty-aśnatas to yogaḥ
cāikāntam cāti-svapna-śīlasya, jāgrato naiva cārjuna.
Mataji, to read?
nāty-aśnatas to yogaḥ caikāntam anaśnataḥ, cāti-svapna-śīlasya, jāgrato naiva cārjuna.
nāty-aśnatas to yogaḥ
cāti-svapna-śīlasya, jāgrato naiva cārjuna.
Never. Ati, too much. Aśnataḥ, of one who eats. Two, but. Yoga, living with the Supreme. Asti, there is. Nor. Cha, also. Ekāntam, wholly. Anaśnataḥ, abstaining from eating. Nor. Cha, also. Ati, too much. Svapna-śīlasya, of one who sleep. Jāgrato, one who keeps night watch too much. Not. Eva, ever. Cha, hand. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi or Arjuna if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. Purport. Regulation of diet and sleeps is recommended herein for the yogis. Too much eating means eating more than is required to keep the body and soul together. There is no need for men to eat animals, because there is an ample supply of grain, vegetables, fruits, and milk. Such simple foodstuff is considered to be in the mode of goodness, according to the Bhagavad-gītā. Animal food is for those in the mode of ignorance. Therefore, those who indulge in animal food, drinking, smoking, and eating food which is not first offered to Kṛṣṇa will suffer sinful reaction because of eating only polluted things. Bhuñjate mangaram pāpā panchanti ātma-kāraṇāt. Anyone who eats for sense pleasure or cooks for himself, not offering his food to Kṛṣṇa, eats only sin. One who eats sins and eats more than is allotted to him cannot execute perfect yoga. It is best that one eat only the remnants of the eat anything which is not foodstuff offered to Kṛṣṇa. Person is Kṛṣṇa in Kṛṣṇa consciousness does not eat anything which is not first offered to Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, only the Kṛṣṇa conscious person can attain perfection in yoga practice. Nor can one artificially abstain from eating, manufacturing his own personal process of fasting and practicing yoga. The Kṛṣṇa conscious person or self-fasting is recommended in the scriptures. He does not fast or eat more than is required, and is thus competent to perform yoga practice. One who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping, and he must consequently sleep more than is required. One should not sleep more than 6 hours daily. One who sleeps more than 6 hours or out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by the mode of ignorance. A person in the mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Chaksurumiritam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yana Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gatamayam Darati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this sloka and also in this purport, there are many thoughts. You can think a lot of things, but first we have to understand what it means if someone wants to practice Krishna consciousness. You know, sometimes people is asking what it means Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada was replying to that, say that, oh, Krishna consciousness is very simple. You dance, you chant, and you eat. That's it. Nothing to do more. No. But there is a big but. No. If you really want to continue to practice Krishna consciousness, not just like a framework that you just show up and after go away, you have to work on that. Work on the details and transform yourself. And one of the most important things, starting from this point, just to work and understand that everything that you do is done for Krishna, is not for you. That's a big difference, because when we face nowadays the yoga is becoming so popular all around the world. I'm coming from Italy, and you know it's full, plenty of yoga school people. They show up, they like a mushroom. They from one day for the other, they show up and they become a yoga master, but they have no clue, no understanding of what it means really to practice yoga. So that's a great point, no? And the people they feel this is a fashion, like even the vegetarianism. A vegetarianism is becoming a fashion, especially between the youth. And they're not only becoming vegetarian, but they're becoming vegan. Vegan because it's extreme, something extreme. They want to do something extreme. And they don't understand the basic point of that, what it means to become vegetarian. If you look in all the books of Srila Prabhupada, in all the books, you never read him promoting vegetarianism. That's a very interesting fact. That's to be vegetarian is a normal thing, no? And Prabhupada put in this way. So you have to be vegetarian because Kṛṣṇa asked to us to become vegetarian, but he's not promoting. And in some occasion, Prabhupada say that don't think to be better because you are vegetarian. Because, of course, the people who are killing animal to eat, they are eating like some food in the mood of ignorance. But even the vegetarian, they are committing some sinful activities. Because they are in some way they are cutting the life of the vegetable, they are cutting the life of the tree, they are doing a lot of things. Of course, in a scale of the karma is less aggressive, is less dangerous, but still is a sinful activities. The only things that will really protect us if you offer to God. And God, Kṛṣṇa, tell us what he like to have. So that's the key point. It's not because we become vegetarian because we decided vegetarian is good or not, but we become vegetarian because Kṛṣṇa say. No, they say, Patram puspam palantoyam, who is going to offer me leaves, a fruit, some water? I will accept that. So he's giving that a specific direction to us. So that's the reason because we are vegetarian. Of course, being vegetarian in the world of the yoga is a big thing. It's one of the pillars, no? Again, the pillar is connected with kārjuna, it's connected with kripa, with the mercy. One of the pillars is that you have to be merciful with the other. Or how you can be merciful between the other if you kill them. So that's another key point. It's not a question of what you are eating. Because I remember I was just reading recently, once was asked to Prabhupada, but if the people, they eat the body of the animals that they die naturally, they can do that. They say, okay, so they can do. We don't do that because we don't do it because this food is in the mood of ignorance, but they can eat. But the problem is that they are not waiting for that. I don't know here, but in my country, if you eat an animal that is naturally die, it's totally forbidden. You have to be in a good health, in a good shape, and you can kill and eat. Otherwise, if you die for some sickness, or if you die because of naturally, you cannot do it. And Prabhupada say, they just have to wait. So these people, they are eager to eat animals. They just have to wait. When they die, they can take the body and they can eat it. Of course, the Vaishnava cannot do that. But the problem, all the society, they don't want to do this because, they think that this is unhealthy. So the basic point of even of the yoga process is to understand that you don't have to give any sufferance to the other living entity. So starting from that, you understand that to be vegetarian is a key point, is directly connected to ahimsa. But the point is that ahimsa is much more important than the food that you are eating. And that's because Prabhupada was saying, if they eat that dead animal, they can do that. They can do, not us. I remember, underline again, not us. Because we just eat what Kṛṣṇa wants. So what happened in the world nowadays, that some people, as I say, especially coming from the world of the yoga, or by the vegetarianism, the veganism especially, they practicing something connected to the sattva guna, some virtues, some goodness, but they don't really go deeper. And to be deeper means that they have to do some research about God. If you see that in the yoga world, most of the people, they are Mayavadi, they are impersonalists. They don't know. They put themselves in the center, not Kṛṣṇa. That's an interesting fact. A lot of people, it's growing number of vegetarian. Like in my country, they consider that the 10% of the population is vegetarian. It's quite a big number because in India, not all the states in India have such a big number. Especially there are some states that are maybe 30%, 35%. Of course, in Vrindavan, everyone is vegetarian. But their part is not like that. In a small country like in Italy, 10% of the population is vegetarian. But this person, they are not connected to the process. They don't take this as a basis to move forward, to go into the more deep research of God. And everything is, in many cases, connected to health, condition, is connected to ethics, is connected to have a good economy. Of course, there is good reason for that, because if you know from the economical point of view, and also for the safeguard the planets, because there is a lot of pollution going on. So one of the bigger causes in all the world for the pollution is due to the growing of the animals. So these, come si dice, allevamenti. Yeah, so this raising of this animal is creating a big gas to create some destruction in the planets. So that's very important to know that. And some people, they say, okay, we have to stop, because even if you want to create 1 kilogram of 1 kg of meat, you have to use a lot of resources, a lot of energy, a lot of water. So doing that, you are taking out these resources to energy just for people to live. That's one reason. The other one is for healthy purport. People, they become vegetarian because they understood. And it's very clear now that many type of cancer, they are directly connected to use of the meat. I read many times in the newspaper that people, they were living in a normal life, eating meat, and they were able to control the cancer only becoming vegetarian. So some people, they approach the vegetarianism for that purport. Ethics is a big thing, because some people, they don't want to participate on this big killing. Do you have an idea how many animals every year are being killed by the humans? Anyone has an idea of the number? No? Try to say something. pretty no idea. They consider between 70 to 100 billion animals including cows, sheep, pigs, and so on, like 70 to 80 billion. And it become 170 to 200 billion of animals, if included the fish. So that's another number. So it's a huge industry. And some people say, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of this big flowing of blood, no? And they stop that. But, if you look at any of this situation, and someone also for the economy, say, it's much more convenient and cheaper to give food to people by vegetarian. But if you go for another point of view, maybe for some you'll be shocked by that, but in the Western country in America and in Europe is growing, they are pushing just the people to eat insects. Yeah. That's interesting because they are pushing. Like in my country, in Milan, they have the first restaurant, they serve only insects. Ants, cockroach, how you call all these kind of animal. They are trying to push, and they say this is the cheaper way to get protein for the people because it's cheaper than the vegetarianism. Wow! So if you look at the vegetarians only from the material point of view, you don't have any escape. It's always something that they can try to justify what they are doing. But to become a vegetarian for the devotee, and I was giving a class recently in a school, say that all these motivation to become vegetarians can be important, but they are not totally relevant. Only when you come to the platform of the spirituality, they cover all the aspects. Because Kṛṣṇa say that, and is healthy for your body, is ethics, the motivation, is economic and have a low impact on the planet. At the same time, everything that you are doing is with love and devotion to offer to God. That's the most important point. And the people, they can continue. Otherwise, they will stop. When the fashion finishes, they change. I know one guy that he became a yoga teacher from one day by the other because he was not really doing yoga. He was doing gym, no, just a lot of exercise like that. And I told him because these guys they are family friends, they're a friend of the family, and they're part of the family member accusing something like that. And I told him, but why you don't went in the circus? Maybe they teach you something more elaborate. And they no, I'm yoga. They're doing acro yoga, it's acrobatic yoga, something like that. It was vegan. And after a while, he just left the vegetarianism, he became back to eat meat and fish, and he became also doing some other activities. He said, yoga is not a fashion. It's something that you have to practice. And you have to go deep into that. And you have to respect the animals. Because, if you see the category of the animal in the world, there are three main categories. Now, one is the one who people they love, so part of the family. And here too, in India is becoming the same, because if you go in Delhi, if you go in Mumbai, a lot of dogs are going around, no? Are part of the family, the people, they sleep with the dogs, they eat with the dogs, they eat in the same plates, it's part of the family. And if you try to do something against this animal, at least in my country and in Europe, you go in front of the judge, and maybe they give a big punishment. You have to pay a big fine if you do something against the animal. And in some case, they can also put you in the jail, in the extreme case. So there are some animals, and mainly in all over the world, not in Italy, because even in India, I remember, not now, but many years ago, it was in the morning time after Mogolati in Jew in Mumbai, just walking on the beach. No? If you have been there, no, there is a huge beach. Many devotees they go to chant japa there, no, and it was full of people with dogs. They were walking up and down, up and down, up and down. Many shop of pets, just to food for them, dress for the dogs, and everything. So this even in India, in some part of India. So if you try to do something against the animal, you get the big consequences. But there are another kind of animals that, it's normal because they provide business. These animals are for business. What it means? You can kill them because they provide money, which has the category. Mainly they are the cows, they are the pigs, they are the goats, they are all these animals, and the rabbits or whatever it is. And they justify. The only things that you have to do, you have to kill them quickly because they don't have to suffer. That's interesting. You are killing them that you don't want them to suffer. Wow. And there are another third category. There are the animals that are dangerous for the life, like the rats, scarafaggi. You say the cockroaches. The flies. They are forced to eliminate them. If you have a restaurant in some part of the world, you cannot have any kind of this kind of animal. You have to do in a way that they are not living. So that means they have to kill them. It's not only that it's recommended, but you are forced to do that. So this third category is interesting to see how, according to the culture, are different. Because if you go in the Western country, the dogs and the cats and the other, they are protected. If you go in Far East, like Thailand, China, whatever it is, they kill as any other animal. They sell in the market by kilogram, by kg. And if you come in India, so the animals are protected. The cows, especially the cows, that nobody. I hope that nobody. Except a few crazy people, they want to kill the animal. But if you go in another country, it's absolutely an animal that you can kill for making business. And the animals that in some country they are totally, you have to kill them because it's forced by the law. If you go in another country, they sell in the market. So the insects and whatever it is. So according to the culture, they put in a different category. It's very difficult to find a solution in all that, unless you see from the Vaishnava point of view. If you see from the Vaishnava point of view, any animals is well respected. There is no problem with them. And just don't try to make any discrimination. We try to consider any animal because the living entity, the jiva, is inside. So we don't want to stop their life. So we don't want to. So this is the basis to understand and to harmonize, the relation in between the human and the animal. But it coming from that understanding. If there is not that understanding, even some religion, they in some way they approve the vegetarianism. So the country where I come from is a Catholic, is the main Catholic religion Catholic in the world. But there is a little branch of Christian that they are vegetarian, and also they chant some mantra because the founder of this movement was dealing with India 100 years ago. They call it the reconstructor people. They reconstruct the body inside, they reconstruct the spirit, and they help also in renovating different things, building or whatever it is. But if you ask them why you are vegetarian, and they tell you, okay, I'm vegetarian because I don't want to have any violence against the animal. You say, why you want to do that? Because we have to be polite with everyone. So their reason is because they don't understand the key points. So these are jiva that are participating in the samsara. So you don't have to alterate their trip that they are doing. So you can give some favor, you can give some help just to. Of course, even the devotee, if you have some animals, you are giving prasada to them, because we know that as a devotee, first we give prasada to the devotee, we give prasada to the human. If something is left, we give to the animal, we give to the tree. We give mercy to everyone. They don't have this kind of understanding. It's just to be polite with the other. So the mercy is the concept of mercy can change very differently according to the different culture. So, from that point of view, we're trying to bring what is Prabhupada is saying in this purport. So, the people, they have to understand that, the love for God is the key. There is no other way. No other way. So the key is that, the people, they behave in a way that any action that they did is just a way to offer to God, just to transform your habits, your needs, because you need to eat something, in something spiritual. And when I speak about that to the people, they very struggle to understand what it means to offer something to God. It's not just, take something, putting in a plate, and go in front of a picture or whatever it is, say some mantra, that's finished. No? Of course, that's the practical things that we are to doing. But what is important there is the love and devotion. Without love and devotion, everything will become technical. If it's just a technical things, doesn't really reach what is the goal. Kṛṣṇa say, Patrampus Pamparantoyam, who is offering to me something vegetarian with love and devotion, I will accept this offering. That's a really key point. So it's not a question just to become very elaborate in preparing all the offering, but the mood that you are putting into that. When some people, they just first join the movement and they learn from, especially congregational devotee, they learn from the devotee the importance of to offer the food. Often they come to me and say, what I have to do? Which practice they have to do to offer? They say, okay, wait. You can take some time as to learn the mantra, to learn everything. That's the way. But you can start immediately. And they ask me, how can I do? I don't do nothing about that. I don't know what to do. Okay, just keep something, put in a plate, cook with love and devotion, go in front of Srila Prabhupada and just say the mantra Hare Krishna. And during the time, you will learn all the appropriate mantra to do that. What Kṛṣṇa is looking is your love and devotion. So that's the important point. And if you just go in another direction, if you do something different, you become like a smart brahmana, no? Or whatever it is, the smarta mentality. The smarta mentality means, that I have to do my practice, do everything is fine, everything is okay, but where is the love, where is the devotion? It's interesting, Prabhupada, he was really underlining this point. And he say very clearly in the Bhagavad-gītā that it's better to associate with the worst materialist than the false spiritualist. That's a very interesting point. Because why Prabhupada say something like that? That means that it's more safe to associate with a bigger materialist? Not really. We don't have to do that. We have to maybe keep distance because it can be dangerous. But the big materialists, what they are doing. You can see what they are doing. So people, the goal of their life is very clear. With the false spiritualist, he dress like you, he behave like you, he know the mantra like you, but what is missing is the love and devotion. That's also because Prabhupada said in some occasion that if the pujari is doing the puja of the deity, you are fully concentrated on the body. As someone enter in the temple, see the temple is empty, someone enter, maybe in India don't happen this, but in the Western countries sometimes happen. If someone enter in the temple and nobody's there, okay, the pujari can stop a moment and just give a word of welcome to this person. It can continue. Because the most important thing is to show love, love, devotion, compassion with other people. Doesn't mean that you have to stop your puja and go into to talk with the people, but just one word. Just keep connection with them. Show love, show devotion, and the people, they will be impressed, they will understand. So in that way, we can understand this point. And Prabhupada say, okay, we have prasada, and this sloka say that you don't have to eat too little, or you don't have to eat too much. This is a yogi. What it means? Every one of us know that when we become devotee, they are pushing prasada in our mouth, everyone. Take prasada is important. I remember that when I joined the movement, I joined the movement in 78, long ago. And in the beginning, so when we were sitting, taking prasada, we are totally full. And the devotee was going, oh, this is Kṛṣṇa prasada, Kṛṣṇa mercy. Open your mouth. You put the prasada inside the mouth. sorry, I cannot take more. So that's very important. And Prabhupada said, that's good. In the beginning, it's good, no? Because you have to purify it. You have to understand what you are eating is not the normal food. It's prasada. Something totally different. It's the mercy of the Lord. You give love and devotion to Lord. The Lord accepts and reciprocate to it. And you take what is remaining. So it's beautiful. And don't undervalue the prasada. Because the prasada is so strong that, can really change the mentality of the people. I can tell you a story. There is, in the city where I am living, there is a big professor, very, very huge big professor. Now he's retired, but this man, he wrote a book, he wrote the encyclopedia of the animals, just to give an idea. No? He's recognized worldwide, this person. And this man is a mix of Buddhist and atheist, something like that, not really clear. And I remember for the first time that I met him, he was looking at me and say, so you are a Kṛṣṇa, oh, you are chanting this, always the same word, this mantra. Say, okay, sorry, professor. Say, that's our duty, we do like that. He say, okay. And I immediately, the first time I brought to him prasada, no? And when he finished his speculation, we started to eat prasada. Oh, that's very nice, very nice, very nice. So anytime that I meet, I was bringing a lot of prasada to him. He was super happy, no? And his mood changed. From the one who is looking at me and say, you strange people, they are just reciting this very strange, this mantra, he come to change. And after once he come to me and say, you are a Kṛṣṇa, you are good people. I say, yes. You know why we are called Hare Krishna? He say, yes, because you are singing this mantra. Which mantra? I asked professor. He say, all the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I say, okay, thank you, professor. So, very nice. Did you bring something to me? Yes, this is prasada, take to you. Last time that I met him, he came to me and say, I have a question to you. I heard that in your philosophy, also there is a female part of God. Can you tell me the name? I say, yes, maybe it's Radharani. I say, oh, yes, it's Radharani. Can you have something to give to me to read about this Radharani? I say, I brought him a book. I say, okay, you can read something more. So this man, from to be totally atheist, for my opinion, is not me, but the prasada is transforming his mentality. So that's very important. So the people, and that's also the reason, because when we are going to meet someone, with, the philosophy sometimes is very difficult, no? Because especially in India, of course, the people, they know much more, no? But in the Western country, they mix everything. Sometimes we do some conferences, no? And the Buddhist speaks, we speak, the Catholics speak, the others speak, and the people, they get very confused. And in the end, they put in the word of the Buddhist your word, and in your mouth the word of the Buddhist. So it's kind of confusing. But when you come to the point of the mantra and you come to the point of the prasada, it's very clear what is. So we have to follow that. No? So the power of the prasada is immense. No? We know that also when Srila Prabhupada was underlining this point, even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was pushing this point, just bring prasada to the people, because it's the key of transformation. Sometimes the people, they can see and transform themselves by approaching directly Kṛṣṇa or the philosophy. Most of the time, especially in Kali Yuga, the people, they have not the capacity to do that. So the prasada will be really the way just to connect them. But when you continue in a spiritual life, you have to consider also that, prasada is totally spiritual, pure, whatever it is. But this sloka say that you have to take, not too little and not too much. That's very important. You don't have to sleep too little and too much. You have to create balance, because the way of yoga means also balance. Yoga means to be balanced. Equalize. If you don't put balance in the things that you are doing, it cannot be yoga. So what it means? Sometimes the devotee, they took these two extreme parts, even in between the devotee. Someone, like as I said before, when you join the movement, they are pushing in your mouth the prasada just to purify, and some others say, no, I have to be very austere, I will take a little. For what? Because the austerity is good, and the austerity gives a lot of power to the people, but you have to also to understand how to use properly the power. Otherwise, if you just get a lot of power, it can be dangerous because it's becoming for yourself, not to offer to Kṛṣṇa. So this is a very, very important point to understand. So why we do austerity? Prabhupada say we do some austerity because, you know, we have ekādashi, fasting, we have, how you say, we have, you know, when we have the Mahotsava, when we have the, you know, the some feast, oh, we are fasting, we do that. But we don't do to the extreme point. Some Mayavadi, some impersonal, they do. I remember years ago that one guy, he was approaching Krishna consciousness, and the family both the father and the mother, they were practicing a kind of yoga. They were very austere, and they don't appreciate Krishna consciousness. You know why? Because they told him that you have too much opulence. Why you are eating so much? When you eat, you have a lot of things you put on your plate. Why? I say, what do you eat normally? They say, I eat some rice and some dal. That's it. That's my diet. Almost every day like that. Occasionally I take a little more. But because it went in your temple, so much opulence, why you are eating all this food? So these people, they, of course, they were very austere, but, you know, very close in themselves, no happiness, nothing. And this guy was escaping from the family. So he come to me and say, I don't know where to go because I was staying in the time in a city quite far away, 200 kilometers from the temple. He said, okay, I have an extra room in my house, you can come and stay a few days. No? So we spend 10 or 50 days. He say, don't worry, here we are not too austere, we are not too opulent, but we are not too austere, you can enjoy your prasad. After he became devotee. So the austerity by itself, it doesn't have much senses. And the opposite, we have to be careful, don't take too much. Even for sleeping, sometimes the devotee, they misunderstand, because, you know, according to Ayurveda, if you really look into the Ayurveda, the time for sleeping is not too less, because they advise to sleep like between 6 and 8 hours. So you have to find a way, to find a balance, especially when you are with the kids, when you are young, you need to sleep more. When you get older, like me or many other devotees that are here in the room, you naturally don't sleep too much. Sometimes it's hard to sleep more than 3 or 4 hours together. No, maybe you have to wake up, go, and this, that, coming back, etc. No, but 6 hours is a good. According to Ayurveda, to sleep 6 hours is good if you have some spiritual practices. Otherwise, Ayurveda advises to sleep 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours. But if you have spiritual practices, you get strength from that. So that's the reason, because you can reduce the number of hours that you are sleeping. But anyway, again, it's important that you get energy from the sleeping. If you find a balanced way to live, that your body is in good shape, your mind is peaceful, and after you can dedicate to devotional service, because that's the goal. Our goal is not to make austerity or to reduce the number of hours that we are sleeping, because, you know, we want to be better than the other, because we do something that the other they cannot do. The thing is that to keep in a most efficient way our body and our mind to practice Krishna consciousness, to offer everything to God. That's like the key point. So we have to really understand and not to become too extreme to one part or too extreme to the other. No. Sometimes we need to understand that this body is a machine. And, you know, any of us have the duty just to understand what are the limits of this machine. If you look at what they are doing, like the pilot of the race car, no, Formula 1 or whatever it is, what they do, they are experts. They to take the car at the limits. But they know what are the limits, and they stay close to the limits, but not go over. Because if you go over the limits, we crash. Or maybe you broke the engine or whatever it is. At the same time, the devotee, they have to understand, because Krishna in some way, our karma and Krishna, they give a particular type of body. A body, some mindset, and somebody is good for doing some kind of things, another body is doing for other things. We have to explore what I can do with this machine that I have. How can I treat as best of my capacity this machine, just to be efficient, just to serve the Lord? That's the difference. We don't want to punish the body. We don't want to use the body for Krishna consciousness, for Krishna service. That's a very important point. So you have to understand, sometimes it's time to go slow, to take rest. Sometimes you have enough energy to go fast, to do a lot of things. But if you become overburdened, what happens? And after some time you have to stop for a long time for that. So be yogi. Yogi means be balanced. When you can find the right way to be balanced, of course you can do more and more and more for Krishna consciousness. We take as example Prabhupada. Prabhupada was doing a lot of things. I think that every one of you, they read Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the daily program that he have, no? He was sleeping, 2 hours a day, something like that. But it was not affecting this efficiency. Because despite he was sleeping so little, he was totally efficient. And all the rest of the day, he was really focused in the family duty, in the job duties, in the spiritual duties, writing a book, meeting with people, speaking about Krishna consciousness. And 2 hours a day was enough, but was not affecting what he was doing. We have to understand that we, at least me, we are not Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we are not Prabhupada. So they are special potency by Krishna. So we have to understand what we can do, how we can use our body, our mind in the best way to serve the Lord. And you don't have to be shy on that. You just have to understand what I can really do, which are the limits. Because, as I said before, if you overcome the limits, you can crash your car. And you can get into difficulty. You can get in a difficulty, sometimes in depression, or you don't know exactly what to do because you take too many things on you. And that's an important point for the devotee. Take as much of course, the devotee, they desire to do everything for Krishna, 24 hours a day. That's the goal. But sometimes we have to understand that we have to be realistic. Now, sometimes we can take something, sometimes we can take too many things, and it's creating problem to all the service that we are doing. Just consult with other devotees, consult with the spiritual master, consult with the devotees that are senior to us, and try to understand what is the good way just to balance in our lives, the service, the needs for the body, and so on. And remember that Prabhupada, when he was meeting the devotee, the first thing that he was asking to them is, how are you? How are you? How is your body? Are you okay? So what it means that Prabhupada, he was looking at the body more than the spirit? No. Prabhupada was just say, be careful. And when some devotee, they was just, they need the body, so this is not something, some Sikh says that doesn't matter. No, take care. Take care. Because if you don't take care, after the body will affect all the system. And maybe you are not more able to do your spiritual service in a proper way. So be attentive, take care, at the same time don't be identified. So that's the really important point. So we have a few minutes left. If you have some question or comment, I don't know if there is something on the internet. Please.
Hare Krishna. In regards to vegetarianism, I remember that Srila Prabhupada made a point also saying that even the pigeons are vegetarians. So
Yeah.
it's not very important, but it is at the same time, because that's the basis, that's the beginning. You have to be vegetarian in order to be Krishna conscious, otherwise. But at the same time, we don't put so much emphasis on it. Why? Because even the pigeons, there are animals who are vegetarians, but they're not Krishna conscious. So you mentioned that.
That's a normality, no? To be vegetarian, you don't take drugs, to have a regulated sexual activity. That's the normality. We are out of the normality. If you go in a normal society, people, they don't do these things. No? But even if you go in some part of the world, especially they were cannibal. No? Normally people, they are not cannibal. So for that, so if you go to the cannibal, say, hey, please don't eat a human. So say, you have to stop them to eat the human, but it's not the normality. The normality is not to eat the human. A normal person don't do that. Don't eat the animals. They don't have to tell you. I have to tell you because you're out of the normality. So that's because Prabhupada say that the pigeon are vegetarian, so many other animals are vegetarian. Doesn't make us better because we are vegetarian, but at the same time is the basis. How you can practice spiritual life if you are just not fulfilling, the respect for the other living entities? There is no way. We are trying to develop love. How you can develop love? Killing people, killing animals. So that's a very important point to understand. But at the same time, we cannot think that we are better because we are vegetarian. So we are trying to do it. This is not the mood of the devotee. The devotee is not going to impose to the other. But the devotee is just going to impose. Like you remember with the Muni did with Nigari, with this hunter, no? He didn't went to him and say, hey, what you are doing? You are doing wrong. This is your bad karma. Now you go into hell because you are killing animal. Because he was enjoying in seeing the animals suffering. When you remember the story, no? He was shooting the animals in a way that they take some time to die, and he was enjoying seeing them suffering. And Narada Muni understand the point. And he say, please, because he said, oh, you are a big sage, I give respect to you. Tell me what I have to do. He say, I have one request to you. Kill immediately the animals. Say, Narada Muni is allowing the hunter to kill the animal. No. But he was helping him to move from one level to the other. Okay? Say, at least don't enjoy for suffering. If it's your job, because you say, this is my job, I have to kill the animal. Okay, do your job, but don't go too much. And after he say, another request that I have is you put tulasi plant outside and just try to worship it. You purify, turning around tulasi and taking care of the tulasi. Of course, you will leave the bad habits. So that's the devotee what he's doing. It's not just going and say, I am better than you because I don't do this activity. Everyone in Kali Yuga is a very terrible person. You think to be better than the other? I don't think so. Any part of the world that you go, the people, they are doing a lot of nonsense, a lot of violence in any way to the other, with the food, with the business, with the administration, with the care of the people. They are doing some very totally nonsense. The devotee is not trying to establish that they are better. They want to show something that through the people they can transform their life. And the people, they will become attracted. It's not pointing the people, say, don't do like that. Just inspire the people. Sometimes take time. Doesn't mean that we have to compromise our principle. That's very important. Because sometimes the people say, oh, what I do if I go in some house of some uncle or some friend, they are hitting me, they offer me, I don't want to offend them, I will say, no, this is a principle, be careful. You can tolerate them, and they have to tolerate you, starting from this point of view. Establish good fencing. No? Okay, I come in your house because you are a family member, you are hitting me, please don't offer to me. I don't want to be part of that. At the same time, I don't judge you. And many people, when you act in that way, they see you as an example. You are not judging me, at the same time you are giving to me a way just to transform myself. So that's the duty of the Vaishnava. Because otherwise, if you try to judge the people from the high to the low, and say, oh, I'm better, this and that, people, they will not follow you. They say, you are fanatics, you are following your religion, whatever it is. If they saw the example, see, remember what Prabhupada did when he arrived in US. So he went in Butler, in this small place, And this family, one was of Indian origin, no? But he was totally converted to the U.S. Lifestyle. And when they opened the fridge, they have meat inside. And Prabhupada, what he told to him is not, oh, you are belonging from Hindu tradition, why you are hitting me, blah, blah. Prabhupada said nothing like that. He said, can you give me a little space to put my things to offer to the deities? I say, okay, yes. And after that, Prabhupada say, can I cook for all of you? And they say, oh, why not? So Prabhupada was an expert cook. And they get to him in 2 days, all the meat was out. And in the fridge was all the bhoga to offer to God. And they say, when you read the interview that they gave, I'll say, Prabhupada was the most kind and polite people. They never push us to do something, but we naturally left all the bad activities, just following him by inspiration. He was not telling us what to do, but he inspired us to do the things. I think that's the key point, just to help ourselves and to transform society. Any other question? I think we have 1 minute or comment. Please.
Quick comment. Actually, it's interesting to note that even in the Christian tradition, at least in the Old Testament, when you read the history of creation, their interpretation of creation, at least the history of the Genesis, when God speaks to the first two beings in the so-called Garden of Eden, he mentions that one point he makes, he says, behold, I have given you every herb and every tree bearing fruit. To you it shall be for food.
Yeah.
Meaning you have to be vegetarian.
Yeah, be careful, because there is some Christian, they have another interpretation.
It's obvious that
Yeah.
it's saying this is for you, the trees bearing fruit and the vegetables, nothing else.
Because you touch, and you too belong from that country. It's interesting to see, because when Jesus Christ went in the last dinner, no, and he offered something, no, what he offered? Because on the table it was some wine, it was some goat, I think, no, yeah, some meat was there, and some bread. And don't think that the wine at the time was the same than nowadays. It was just, something with water, no? Something like that. It was not really heavy like that you get drunk, intoxicant. It was something different, no? But at the same time, he didn't offer the meat. He offered only the bread. So that people, they was belonging from that culture, it was his was trying to do, to develop in that, to raise up in them the love for God. So that's the question. The point was before eating, taste something, the bread, he didn't take the meat, and offer to God. After that, we can share. So that's the intelligence of the devotee. No, try to do as much as possible with the people, raise up the love for God for them. At the same time, if they have bad habits, you don't have to enter into that, because if you look in his story, he's coming from a group. From the Jewish group that he was called Essence, no? At the end, they were vegetarian. So that means that also probably 90% Jesus was vegetarian. But he was dealing with people that was eating meat. So he found a way. We never read that Jesus was eating meat, but he was dealing with this kind of people. And despite of their bad habits and bad situation, he tried to raise up the love for God for them. So that's the mission that we have. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.